How did you enjoy the Brussels today?
They literally just went into the cool room. I can't wait to use them though. Like every time I get them, I think you didn't grow them last year.
We didn't grow them. This is our first year growing them to sell.
It's always so hard to get hold of them in enough quantity to do anything with.
Yeah.
Having a relationship with someone that grows and is as passionate as they are about what they do, it definitely makes you put the brakes on trying too hard.
He was someone that had similar values about food as me, and so we knew that we wanted to provide vegetables to him. Hey Tom, what do you want to cook for lunch today? I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
Yeah.
I've got some beef shin, so I thought maybe we could grab some broccoli and
Yep.
I know you've got a couple of bigger ones there.
Yeah.
So we're here at Standard Bry's Kitchen, beautiful place at Fat Carrot Farm. We've got our produce and we're just going to go through what we should be doing to prep for the week. I find the best way to prepare for the week is to have an idea of what's in season. Even if you don't have the luxury of getting your vegetables direct from a farmer, at least knowing what is available at this time of year is going to give you some framework, some boundaries, and find often that having restrictions around what is available makes the decision-making process easy. So I find the best way to deal with setting up for the week at home is to write a list. It's easier, you don't have to make decisions when you're pressed for time. You know, you're not getting home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and stressing out about what you're going to cook. You've already done the planning, you really know what's about. So at work we tend to just write lists daily. At home I'll have like a whiteboard, I'll use the fridge or just notes stuck around that anyone that's in the kitchen then knows what is coming up. So we know what we've got protein wise for the week and what vegetables are in the fridge and which ones to use first. So soft herbs specifically, you know, parsley, coriander, even things like radicchios and lettuces, they all really fall into a similar category for storage. You really do want to be gentle with them, keep them separated from themselves, you know, removing the rubber band just gives them a little bit more room to move and breathe. Like if you're going to write your list, maybe, you know, write on there what you've got in your freezer. You know, you've got coriander, there's stems in there, you can use that as the base for a curry paste or put them in a broth, so you're not just, you know, hiding them and forgetting about them later on. It's lovely broccoli. Storage wise for broccoli, you know, this is massive. Like you don't want to put that in your fridge and just hope for the best, which is sort of tends to be like the way that people approach it. You know, you've got the crisper. Fridges aren't really designed for that, but as long as you check in with your fridge and make sure that the temperature is accurate and it's sitting below 4 degrees but not really below 2, you're going to have success with storing vegetables. But again, it comes down to the preparation. Anything else that's refrigerated, you know, like broccoli, will generally have its own box. It might share space with like carrots because they're really similar in their water content and their makeup. You don't want to be shoving coriander and carrots in the same box. Even though they're like related, they don't store very well because this is a root, this is a leaf. They don't generally store that well together. They need slightly different environments. It's really helpful if you can wrap your loose herbs in a piece of paper cloth, a reusable cloth, which is even better, and store them, and they will last really well. Always remove plastic if you've got herbs coming in plastic. I'm going to take that off and recycle it. Give the herbs the best chance that they have. Like if you look after these, they'll last. You know, a bunch of parsley, if you're not going to eat it or you run out of time, it will last for 2 weeks. Absolutely, if you look after it properly. As long as you're not shoving them in your fridge, you know, you get home from your shop and if you have an approach that gives you a little bit of time, you can lay everything out. I like to be a little bit pedantic and I rotate all the stock in my fridge. Onions, they can be like pretty difficult to navigate, especially if you bought them at the supermarket. You know, they're going to be in a rubber band. They're going to be, you know, at least 2 weeks from harvest. They've been refrigerated the whole time. Plants like this do tend to have a little bit of resilience. Like if they've got the root intact and haven't been cut at the top, technically they're still alive. They're still going to try and grow and metabolise what is stored in the cell. For storage, you really want to stop that. You want to cut the root. You want to separate any brown parts and keep them separate. We tend to cut the stem portion and the green portion and store them separately. And then you can move on to things like pumpkin and potatoes and onions and all these things. They're all gonna have a relatively good lifespan as long as you treat them carefully. So when you're dealing with hard vegetables or longer storage or starchy vegetables, things like pumpkins typically don't need to be in the fridge ever. Personally, I just leave them. You know, you can put them in a container in the fridge as long as you're going to use it within a couple of days. It should be fine. If you don't have the space because they're massive, just leave it on your bench, cover it with a beeswax wrap, or put it in a brown paper bag. Potatoes, depending on the varietal, some of them are going to be really dirty when you buy them. Some of them are going to be really easy to clean. I don't like peeling them. I just find that I would rather have time to focus on doing something else. It's also just a little bit wasteful. If you can avoid sending something that you could eat to the compost, then you may as well do that. So the best way to reduce waste after you've cooked and prepared your vegetables when you've got home is to have a plan of how to store them. And the best way to do that is to have a bunch of containers that you have enough that you're not running short and just shoving stuff in the fridge. In our kitchen at the pub, we'll have plastic containers, reusable endlessly. I use the same things at home, and then varying sizes. So we'll get cooking. We're just going to wait for Stan. He's just finishing up in the garden, and when he gets in here, we'll get into it. So we've got some beef shin and heel muscle. We're going to cook this really simply. Having this on hand, just frozen is a really good way to have something ready to go.
And will you have vegetables in there to start, or add the vegetables when you reheat it?
I like to just keep the meat cooked simply by itself, and that way you can be really versatile. If it's just cooked protein, you can prep it quickly, pop your meat out, warm it up, and sit down and eat.
Yep.
Do you have any leftover fat, like some duck fat or something that we could roast this meat in?
I'll grab it from the fridge.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
Looks good already.
So now we're all cooked. We can, we've waited for it to cool, and we can put it in a container and get it in the freezer.
Shall I put that in?
That'd be great. Be ready for a meal during the week.
All right, I can't wait.
One of the best ways to save time and reduce waste is to set yourself up at the start of the week. Cooking something as simple as what we've just done is really going to help you out, minimising the loss of product, and keeping something like that readily available on hand just means that you can pull it out and grab something quick and easy out of the fridge, like any of the vegetables that you've got that are seasonal, and you're going to end up wasting less. Thanks very much for letting us come and shoot, and for growing the vegetables. We really appreciate having access to this kind of stuff that just really does set you up and changes your outlook on food.